Welcome. Today I am going to be sharing with you the IEW my 6th grader is using, and this is his first year doing any type of IEW. Welcome to Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys. I have graduated 2. In this school year, I have a 6th grader and an 11th grader. And I want to talk a little bit about IEW and how it is going for us this school year. We are using the Fixit and one of the themed books, which is actually scheduled in our Heart of Dakota guide. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I want to let you know how that is going because I'm thinking I see that question a lot, how that flows within the guide. I started out with a different program that was also included in that guide, which was Rod and Staff at the beginning of the school year, and he really was doing okay with it, but I felt like I needed just a little bit more review consistency overall. It was just a little bit different than I was used to doing grammar with my boys, and I do have I think a whole playlist of language arts, so I will link that below if you're curious. I do homeschool videos, past and present, so if you are new here, welcome. I hope you will subscribe and join us, and for any of you, if this video is helpful, give me a thumbs up. That would encourage me. So let's go ahead and take a look at Fixit first, and then I'll talk about the writing. Okay, we are doing a lesson here with Fixit. I'm going to show you inside the book and these cards that I received several years ago. They are Fixit grammar cards, and they're actually been really helpful. I forgot I had them, but just showing him the cards and reviewing them a little bit before this lesson was helpful. Now, I don't do this every single time. And I will show you why, because the teacher's guide does give you a little bit of review that and the new concept that is introduced that week. So that is really helpful. Okay, this school year, my 6th grade son is using this Fixit Grammar Robin Hood Level 3. This is the teacher's manual. It's going to give you a peek. We are on week 3, day 3. I wanted to share these Fixit cards with you also. I actually got these free during one of the Christmas deals. They have 12 days of Christmas, and you sign up for the email. Sometimes you can get free shipping or a free gift. And I actually think I got this a couple years ago when my oldest was doing it in 9th grade. But these are some of the cards. I went ahead and started pulling them out, but wanted to share some of them with you because these are the things that he is going to be going over. And we will be looking at that. He is looking at the who which clause. I didn't see anything specific about that, but it does talk about a clause, a dependent, and the main clause. So that is all on the back of the cards. It gives you more detail about every thing that is on the front of the card. I give you a couple examples, like the noun. If you forget, it'll give you examples of what they are. And the prepositions. This is the phrase, but it also has a card for prepositions with the list. So things like that. So they're really handy. They remind me of the cards that I had made and used for my boys when they were, 3rd, 4th, 5th, some even 6th grade we used Shirley English. But so far, I have really been liking this. It's been easy. It's 1 or 2 sentences. It tells you what you need to fix with the markings, like for capital letter and mark commas. And sometimes it may be you need to take out a comma, or sometimes it might be that you need to put one in. There is a vocabulary word, and then it tells you how many of each thing you are looking for. So I feel like that is very beneficial, especially at this age. He goes through it a little quicker. So I definitely want to stay on top, go through the sentence with him when he is done to make sure that he has everything. So this so far he's been good on me picking this level for him so far. Okay, he has been working on this pretty independently, and just recently I've been sitting down with him a little bit more. It's getting to be a lot more like with introducing the who, which clause, which is fine. And I just happen to think I have the card, so that has been helpful for him to review looking at the cards. And then also I have the teacher's guide. That way I can double check myself sometimes if I feel like I need to. So once he has finished doing all he can, I will go over and double check, make sure everything's correct, and then he can write this sentence out. But a lot of times he has done this by himself. Okay, I also want to talk about the medieval history-based writing lessons. Like I said, this is my 6th grader's first time using any IEW. We started out with this because this was part of our Heart of Dakota guide. I do have some videos on Heart of Dakota. They are a Charlotte Mason Christian worldview boxed curriculum, really. It's history, science, language arts, everything in there. But we never have used it completely. We mainly pick it for our history. But we are doing Resurrection to Reformation, so they are doing the medieval history from IEW this school year. So I thought that would be a great introduction because we do use IEW as a family, especially starting in the middle school, high school years. That is when I really begin to use IEW. But I want to show you how we are using it because we are not following the guide and definitely taking it a little bit slower than it suggests. Okay, here is the student's guide. Really, I haven't really looked here at the beginning, but it's going to give you every detail. They actually have a blue sheet here that gives you a website that you can look up more information and have some extra printouts. You can look all this up online also, but just goes through the different types of stories and writing you'll be doing and what it will be about. And most of these things, which is great, we have already been talking about in our history, so it's fun to do it that way. It's a little bit more familiar with it, especially at this age. And then there's some more. They have an introduction, scope and sequence, suggested weekly schedule, checklist, teacher's manual, some tools, the PDF that you could print off on the front blue page there, and pretty much how the flow should go, which, as I said, we are not following it to the T. They will have, this will be introduction to structure and style, and we did this lesson and did all these lessons. He did Beowulf. I feel like we skipped one, and I'm assuming it, I think it might have been Justinian the Great, the ruler. We have read about him, but I think he did these two. And this is going to be an extra review, which I'm noticing it introduced the who, which clause, which is actually perfect because that's what he's learning about. And they do a great job with this. You're just not having to think about it in the way you would with grammar and marking it. So we have a ways to go, and we are just finishing up Unit 3, Lesson 6. So we really are almost spending a couple weeks on a lesson. And if I let anything go for a week, it's probably going to be the writing. Now, I don't like to do it if we're right in the middle of it. Like if we are in the middle of 6 and we're in the second week, we're going to finish it before we take a break from a subject, which would be writing. He has a lot of writing in his Heart of Dakota, a lot of narration and written narration and just copy work. So I'm really not overly worried or stressed about how much writing he's doing, but I do want him to understand paragraphs and how to do a story, how to write from it. So let's see, let's look at an example of what he is doing now. I might just skip, we haven't done this one yet. This is more of a story, the Sword of the Stone. Let's just look at this so that way you can see how an assignment week goes. You'll have day 1 and it'll give you several things to do, read and review, which would be the story itself, and then you'll be outlining it. And for us, this is the way we're doing it. I'm going to tell you. I'll have them do this much. We'll read it. I'll have them do this much one day, this much the next, and this much the next. If I feel like we're flowing and it's going well, I may have him do 2. But he is so familiar with the story that he is retelling me the whole story pretty good without even writing it out. But he has that ability. Not all my boys were like that. They just didn't even have words. I've mentioned this in my past videos, he is more my son with words, and he likes to write. So, and be expressionable about it. So I think they actually want you to do the whole outline day one. And we just don't do that. And I'm okay with that. I am not in a hurry. So we'll be doing this for a few years in the future here. It'll just get a different level. So I'm just not worried about it. I just want him to really get the concept down. I really feel like the note taking is really good, especially with these questions, characters and settings, conflict, problems, climax, and resolution, really just helping him understand. And I feel like that is going well for him. He's getting ready to, he just finished up about the Archbishop, I'm looking back here, of Canterbury. He's done the whole outline. He's getting ready to write the story. So then it will I want you to tell back from the outline the story, and review the next day is review the key outline, write teacher practice elements. So let's look at that real quick. Okay, so in the same lesson, once you get the outline done, they'll actually, and this will look a little different each lesson, but this one, it's strong verb dress up. So it's wanting you to go through, and let me read this, right? Strong verbs that could replace each of the banned words. And that's something that IEW will teach and introduce. They're trying to get you to use more than just went. That is one of their banned words, and that's used several times. Said is a banned word. And that is just starting to be introduced here, and wanting you to come up with some other words. And it looks like they want you to have some ly adverb dress ups too. And over here, and this is all the work, the extra work that you have in day 2, and then you're going to be able to write out your story and maybe add some of these words in instead of what you have. And then I think it's a rough draft, review all vocabulary words, final draft, type it out. Okay, so here's what we're doing different. I'm not really doing a final draft. We're just doing a rough draft, talking about it, getting him to add whatever we're discussing that week in. So that is as far as we are going. You may have a student who is on the ball and doing every writing. My son is not typing yet. He is doing some typing, but he's just not ready to type a paper out. And I'm not going to make him write it twice because, like I said, he's doing so much writing already. But we've been doing this for a while, and I know what's going to be happening in the future with more IEW work. He'll probably do some of the classes, the videos in the next year or two. So he'll review most of this several times, even before high school. And here is the checklist. So they actually want you to have 3 paragraphs, and I am not even pushing that right now. So mechanics. And I'm going to go over all this, the ly, the who, which, the strong, the because clause. I just wanted to give you an idea of how we are doing it differently. Okay, I hope all that made sense. We are doing it differently than the guide, definitely doing it different than it would suggest in the scheduling, but it is working for us. And like I said, I'm not in a hurry. He's in 6th grade. He'll probably do the videos, possibly, I don't know that. It really depends on how far we get in this book, but possibly next year. And it probably would be level B. I'm saying all this, I don't know. I have every right to change my mind on what I say here. But he is doing fine where we are at, like the pace we are going, and he does enjoy it. It's not been a problem. He enjoys the stories in there. He is familiar with them because we are talking about them in history. So I'm glad we're doing it, and I think for writing, it's been a perfect fit for him. And along with the Fixit, I'm glad we switched over to that. It's going smoothly for him. But it is because we were if I was trying to stay on the schedule, it just would not work for our family and our scheduling. And that's the great thing about homeschooling. You can make it fit for you. and they're still going to get it. It's going to be okay. He's got plenty of years ahead of him to be reviewing this, because that's what they'll do every year. They'll review the concepts, they'll get a little bit harder, a little bit more paragraphs, and that type of stuff. So, all right, I really hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any more specific questions. I will do my best to answer them. And I do appreciate you all watching. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again soon.